We're going to take a look at a few story problems and see how we do with them using rational numbers. Basically, it's going to be multiplying and dividing is the focus that we're looking on. So I've got two different problems I'd like us to take a look at. First off, Gary has $6.25. That's how much Gary has, and he'd like to buy some snacks. Each soda costs $1.79. So that's one soda is $1.79, and each type of candy bar is 89 cents. So no matter what type of candy bar he buys, it's going to cost 89 cents for each one. How many candy bars can Gary buy if he also buys one soda? So let's just go through and take a stock of the information we've gathered. Um, Gary has $6.25. Writing it down, this information that you've already gleaned, and I've highlighted the stuff that was important, helps your brain take time to start analyzing it. You may not want to do it, but I'd strongly encourage you to. You can put each soda, or since we already know that each soda is one soda, okay, is $1.79, so it's probably a 20-ounce drink. And then each type of candy bar is 89 cents. So there we go. There's our information. And now we've got to figure out how many candy bars can he buy if he buys one soda. Well, if he buys one soda, how much will he have left? Let's go through and subtract the cost of the soda. So here's his total that he had, 625. We subtracted the cost of the one soda, and now he's got $4.46 left. And that's what it's going to be able to use to buy the candy bars. Now, if we sat there and we multiplied it by 0.89, it would make no sense at all. However, what we can do though is we can take the cost, the money that he has, and divide it by the cost of each candy bar. So that's going to be a new problem that we're going to set up here. And let's just go through and set that up right now. 446 divided by 0.89. Now I'm going to draw a down arrow right here to show that what we're going to do is we're going to take this decimal and we're going to slide it 2 to the right. We can't have that on the outside, not making it easy. So we're going to move it over twice, and that's going to give us 89 on the outside. But that also means that we must take it and move it over twice on the inside also, and so that's going to leave 446. Here we go. And now I know 89 does not go into 44. I know that 90 times 5 is about 450, so I'm going to try 89 times 5. We'll write it down over here. And that actually gets us 445, which is really close to 446. So we've got one left over. We can go ahead and put our decimal in there and pull it up top. 89 goes in the 10 0 times. But really, we're done now. We know that it can go in 5 times. So after buying one candy bar, or excuse me, after buying one soda, he can buy 5 candy bars. He's got a remainder on there. He'll have a little bit of change left, but not much. And so the answer is, and again, that's what they want, how many candy bars can Gary buy if he also buys one soda? He can buy 5 candy bars. If it was like 4.9, we'd say he could buy 4 candy bars, but since it went in 5 times, it's 5. So make sure that you restate your question in the form of a sentence there. You know, the question that they give you, put that into the answer, just restate it, have your answer hidden right there. Let's move on to the last question I wanted to take a look at. Carrie was driving her car on a long 1,000-mile trip. She was 3/16ths of the way into her trip when she had engine issues. How many miles of her trip has she completed? The first thing that I would encourage you to do is take out the weird numbers and put in something that's not as bad. Like let's just say it was half. So if she was driving 1,000 miles, that was what she had planned, and halfway through she had a car and just how many miles of trips has she completed? Well, it would be 500 because 500 is half of 1,000. Now, this is where you can actually sit down and start figuring out with the calculator or putting it down on paper. But if you say 1,000 divided by 1/2, you're actually going to get 2,000. So this tells me I really shouldn't be dividing. Okay, I know that if this fraction was half, my answer would be 500 miles. What can I do with these two numbers to get to that number there? And surprisingly, I can actually multiply 1,000 times 1/2. How does that work out? We'll make this into a fraction. Here's 1,000 over 1 times 1/2. 1,000 times 1 is 1,000, and 1 times 2 is 2. What's 1,000 divided by 2? 500. So what I should really be doing is multiplying my two numbers together. So now I can take my little fake number that I set up here, and I can go back and put in 3/16 and just multiply it by 1,000. So let's go do that. 1,000 times 3/16. Go ahead and put the 1 down here, and we'll get 3,000 over 16. Now we just have to simplify it. And you can turn it into a mixed number, which is 187 and 1/2. That's skipping some steps there. Or you can write it as a decimal since it's such an easy one, 187.5. So really just come back through and restate your answer with that question embedded in it. Carrie drove 187.5 miles before having car problems, or actually engine issues.